Okay, action.
Good afternoon. So here's your heart. Heart has the arch of the aorta coming out right here, right? And we know that there are two main vessels that come off the arch of the aorta going forward. There's a nerve there too. So this one and this one. This is the brachiocephalic, and that's the left subclavian. You follow the brachiocephalic forward, it generates a left common carotid, a right common carotid, and a right subclavian. Here. All right. Left subclavian is coming around here, and we can find some branches that come off it. A total of 4 branches come off the subclavian at, this is the first rib. So right where it's near the first rib, subclavian's coming up. I can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So this one is used to connect to the body wall, is internal mammary. The first one that's heading dorsally is vertebral. Then is the next one here that's behind them is costocervical, and this is thyrocervical. Once the thyrocervical comes off, the blood vessel is now called the axillary as it heads towards the arm. There's lots of little branches you don't have to study, but as it gets towards the arm, there's a break here, and these are two, moderately decent-sized ones, as opposed to these little ones. That split here is the one heading onto the arm is brachial, and the one heading into the underside of the scapula is the subscapular. Okay, I'll do my best here to do this without more information than my memory. But this is the common carotid. So a left common carotid coming forward towards that's the masseter muscle for reference. This is the larynx. Here's the back of the larynx. So as the common carotid gets near the back of the larynx, you see I think it's superior thyroid coming over here to thyroid tissue along the sides of the larynx. And this is muscular heading out here. As you get a little bit further forward, like a centimeter, here is laryngeal going to the larynx. And heading out the other side are occipital vessels. Occipitals. There's more than one. They're kind of diffuse. Lots
Where do
of
they
branches. Into the musculature on the sides of the neck. Occipital. And some of them are also called muscular in this area. This is the hypoglossal nerve, or nerve 12, right here. But you look, if I push that out of the way, there's a blood vessel right behind it. That's going to the tongue. It's the lingual nerve going to the tongue. Laryngeal going to the larynx, lingual going to the tongue. There is a vessel that would head in here, but it's very small. It's kind of vestigial. It's called the internal carotid. Heading down in here, you can see some red right there. So it's not much to see. That's internal carotid. Once that comes off around the location of the lingual, this changes its name. What you can see here is the main flow as external carotid. Common carotid, internal carotid is going in, external carotid is on the outside of the face. This is masseter. This is the external maxillary artery right here, and it splits right away, but that's external maxillary. And this is external carotid continuing up behind the masseter. Here's the ear hole, right? So that's external auditory meatus. So this is coming off the now external carotid. That's called posterior auricular. Posterior, behind, auricular, the ear. That's still external carotid, and it'll be hard to see with the camera perhaps, but if I
Zoom in here.
pull the masseter over and you look in that hole, the external carotid has one last split that we can name in that hole. This is the external auditory meatus. Right here is called superficial temporal. And this one's called internal maxillary. What looks like the main continuation is no longer external carotid. Now it's internal maxillary going under the masseter. This was external maxillary. That's internal maxillary. superficial temporal, posterior auricular, external carotid, lingual, laryngeal, occipital, superior thyroid, muscular, common carotid.
Perfect.
Can you